Eric has really evolved and emerged as one of the best coaches in the league. He's creative, he's dynamic, and he's really kept that Heat program kind of on the right path throughout his tenure there.
Talking earlier with Greg Popovich, he said what he finds most intriguing is how different guys react to each other in the locker room.
That's what makes all-star games interesting, because during the regular season, you're trying to trip, elbow, and hit your competitor.
Really? Wait, you yourself, you were doing that.
Well,
yes.
I was doing that.
That's like a confession.
You want to talk about it some more?
This is very therapeutic for me, guys. Thank you for allowing me to vent a little bit.
The West controls as Chris Paul faces LeBron James. James opening at the point. Paul to his LA Clipper teammate.
Good things will happen, not just with him scoring, but then also it open up.
Chris Bosh replacing him in the starting lineup. The only way you can do that if you're Eric Spoelstra is because you have LeBron James. He's so versatile, he can play any position, so just slide him over to the point.
Here's Bosh from deep, coming up with air. That was a three-point attack. And Durant of Oklahoma City moves it down. Kobe Bryant for three. Rebounded by Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo suffering an arm injury the other day. In fact, comes off a 5 of 24 and said he had a dead arm. So it should be interesting to see how he does here tonight.
Especially a shooter with a dead arm.
Pick and roll between Paul and Griffin, and they've accounted for the first 2 field goals.
How about the show they put on Thursday night against the Lakers as Anthony lines up and misses the three? But what a season it's been so far for the LA Clippers behind these two guys, Chris Paul and Blake Griffin, the most dynamic pick and roll combination in the league. Taking over Los Angeles,
31-17, second in the West. Coming off decisive wins against the Rockets and the Lakers. Garnett, too strong, comes back to him, and he fires again. Kevin Durant with a strange game this past Thursday night as he knocks down his first shot from downtown. He was 0 for his first 7 against Miami, the game that we did right here on TNT in Oklahoma City. And Miami on its way to a blowout, and then Durant, as Anthony is able to connect, scores 24 points in the fourth quarter, comes up with 40 for the game. And as we were talking about the other day, is it possible to have a mediocre 40-point game?
Well, maybe for us mere mortals, Steve, but for a Kevin Durant, it wasn't.
Around with Griffin screen, pick,
Roll, slam dunk! Oh, my, what a play!
He's a gamer.
Carmelo with the high dribble gets it down, and Wade.
I always like watching these coaches on the sideline, during the All-Star game. They're so concerned defensively during the regular season. And all of a sudden, every principle goes out the window. But before long, Spoelstra and Popovich are going to get frustrated with what's going on out there.
Chris Paul had about 5 minutes to think about that shot, and it knocks down a 3. Paul with the steal. Try to drop it, he does. Put it behind him. He heard footsteps, and it happened to be Kobe Bryant.
Well, what do you love about a lot of these?
Oh, here we go.
Oh, my goodness.
Little backdoor pass from Wade to teammate James.
You know, the scoring is one thing.
Kind of see how it's affecting Tony Parker.
The best pass. A lot of times, guys don't get a chance to really pass the way they would do if they were playing on the playground.
Here's Paul again for 3. And it certainly helps that it's not...
Wade with a steal, with 2. Wade puts it up for the win. Yeah, baby! He did it!
Sometimes guys will overpass in these games, but this is a perfect little trick through the legs, and then the drop pass to Kobe. And we get a quick foul here on the inbounds pass. But this is a game just set up for Chris Paul. I mean, the way he orchestrates out in the open floor, all this talent.
How many times have we seen that in practice between those guys?
Foul on Bryant.
Oh! I'm leaving the
Obviously, those of you who follow the NBA on a regular basis are aware of the extraordinary season that LeBron has been having, and this on top of many other remarkable seasons. He had that streak, 20-plus points.
I'm leaving the building. I quit my job. I've never seen anything.
6 straight games, 30 or more, and shot 60%.
Yes.
I
love it.
Well, all
I
good
love
things
it.
must come to an end.
Hey, are you
39, 12, and shot 57%. Wasn't that bad?
How about player of the month? 4 straight months. No one's even come close to winning player of the month.
Bosch on the assist by Wade.
So Steve, now I put you on the spot. Does he win his 4th MVP?
Oh, I think so. A couple of weeks ago, I would have said maybe Durant, just because, you know, he'd be the popular choice, kind of because it's his turn type of thing. There's Kobe on the fadeaway, but I think with what LeBron has done in the last 2 weeks, he's clearly proven that he's a big step ahead of Durant, I think, at both ends of the floor. I think LeBron is well on his way to that 4th MVP.
Reggie, don't you find that Steve vacillates on his opinions every 2 weeks? It's another candidate.
Ask me again next week. I may go with
Because you were liking Tony Parker there for a little bit, and then you went to Chris Paul, and
never mentioned either of those guys, right?
3-on-1, and LeBron James set up by Carmelo Anthony. Here comes Durant to the rim. The West with a 16-11 lead. 5 minutes gone by. Anthony with no hesitation from downtown. Carmelo Anthony averaging 29 a game, shooting 40% from 3. Paul was looking for Bryant. And we have our first substitutions by way of the San Antonio Spurs. Tim Duncan and Tony Parker come on for Dwight Howard and Blake Griffin.
Greg Popovich told us before the game that he's going to let his assistants chart out and handle all the substitution patterns. And it's a tricky thing, I think, for every all-star coach to try to keep everybody happy. Obviously, all 12 guys are deserving of minutes, but it can't quite work out that way.
So Tony Parker right to it. San Antonio Spurs at 42-12, best record in the NBA, and Tim Duncan has had one of his best seasons, and we're talking about a guy in his 16th NBA year. Tricky dribble there by Paul.
Greg Popovich made a great point today. He said, Duncan, and I didn't know this until I looked at the stats, Duncan is on pace for his most blocked shots ever in his career.
Oh, little reverse stuff by Kevin Durant.
well, I might say that might have been one of the best dunks we've seen, even from that from that slam dunk competition last night.
Carmelo Anthony gets inside.
Well, there's a better pure score. I understand that Kevin Durant is leading this league right now. He's led the league the last 3 seasons in scoring. But Carmelo Anthony, to me, is a different breed when it comes in terms of putting the ball in the basket.
Foul committed by Wade as we see the pass from Anthony to set it up for James. And at the other end, in his 4th All-Star game, his 3rd start, the reverse by Durant.
All-Stars, and no one is savoring the moment more than 30-year-old Tyson Chandler. He's won an NBA championship, an Olympic gold medal. He's been named the Defensive Player of the Year, and he's led the league in field goal percentage. But this was always his most painful weekend of the year. He said it was too painful to watch the game. He'd find some remote island where there was no TV. After 12 years in the league, he has finally made it. Now over to the West, David Aldridge.
Well, Greg, you heard that Reggie say that may be a coming out party of sorts for Kyrie Irving, but James Harden has been the unofficial mayor. Oh, LeBron's kicking me off the court. I guess I'm done. Back to you, Marv.
Drop down. Kobe! Oh! Up high! Down hard! Kobe Bryant!
On the sideline, he didn't really have to be in the middle of the lane.
You want to be part of the action, Steve. But I would like to know what island, because I want to book my tickets to wherever Tyson Chandler is going with no TV.
No TV.
My goodness, 3rd world country he's going to, perhaps?
James Harden has checked in. He heard it from the crowd as he made his way from the scorer's table. Zach Randolph of the Memphis Grizzlies has come on. Kyrie Irving, the outstanding second-year player from the Cleveland Cavaliers, on the floor for the first time for the East. Bosch for three. Chased down by Irving. Bosch on the spin. Hands to Chandler. So both Anthony and Chandler going for that tip.
That was a pretty good possession both ways, defensively and some semblance of a play as Zach Randolph knocked down an 18-footer.
I think both coaches are going to try to draw up a play out of timeouts, and that's probably the only time you'll see anything that looks like a set.
Blocked by LeBron. That basketball will never be the same.
LeBron brings out on that three-point attempt. They'll draw up the play, but they wonder if it'll be followed.
Yeah, good point.
Oh, no, he didn't.
And he puts it down. Little extension leading to the dunk.
Well, and how about a little glance back to see who was trailing, and it so happened to be Kobe Bean, number 24, Bryant, on his heel.
The only guy capable of chasing LeBron down and blocking a shot is LeBron. So I don't think that's going to be a problem.
Yeah, that's Kyrie Irving. Being played here by Tony Parker, and Irving shoots a three. Bosch over Harden. And again, an air ball.
It's his second air ball. He's not shy coming into this starting lineup. This Bosch already put it up 4 times, including a couple of three-pointers.
He has been on a red-hot shooting tear as of late, but he tried that three from the corner, then another three right here. Substitutions. Joakim Noah, Luol Deng of the Chicago Bulls have come on, and Paul George from Indiana. Here, Duncan O'Reilly will shoot a three.
Well, you know, Greg Popovich will rarely draw up a three for Tim Duncan during the regular season. So
Here he goes. Oh! The house of highlights.
You think these guys like passing? I think he's trying to get away with it. Look at him. Look at Bob. Like, yeah, now is okay, but better not do that come next week.
Russell Westbrook has also come on for the West as Harden goes off the back rim. 23-18, the West on top as we approach 3 minutes to go in this opening quarter. Nice goal by Irving.
How good is Kyrie Irving? Ball handling skills, fundamentally. We saw his shooting on display in that three-point shootout.
I think he's already the most skilled point guard in the NBA as Westbrook misses on the three. Chris Paul's a better player. You know, Rondo's probably a better player right now, but nobody has the same skill set as Kyrie Irving.
Dang getting it down low. George missed on the reverse. Here's Chandler and a foul.
We talked about the best player in the league, Steve. LeBron James he's just on a different planet right now. West up 3 early on in the first.
Well, courtside seats with a number of familiar faces here throughout the weekend. There's Chris Tucker. And a look at Diddy. Those of us close to Sean refer to him as Neo, who did a terrific job performing the pregame festivities, and Jay-Z and Beyonce.
What'd you call him, Steve? The king and queen?
King and the queen.
Yeah.
Beyonce's probably enjoying it, just being able to relax after having to be on stage at the Super Bowl a couple weeks ago.
What a performance that was.
Tyson Chandler on the line off the foul a moment ago by Tim Duncan as we take a look at the NBA National Television Big Board. Full slate of games across the NBA networks. NBA TV, Tuesday, Celtics and Nuggets. Wednesday, ESPN, Hornets and Cavaliers, and the Celtics playing at the Lakers. Lakers coming off a blowout at the hands of the Clippers the other night, although they have won 8 of their last 12 games. Westbrook got it down low, but Randolph rejected. Paul George, who has become the face. Has had a terrific season.
He does a little bit of everything. Scoring, rebounding, which has really impressed me. Distributes the basketball, and you see Joakim Noah. You know, we talk about these all-star games, and they're predominantly offensive driven, but how does Joakim Noah and Tyson Chandler, they only know how to play one way, Steve, you know, defensively. So this is kind of odd for them to be on the floor where it's an up and down game, but they only know one way and one motor.
Yeah, but you know what I would point to is Kenneth Faried the other night in the rookie game. People are not going to box out in games like this, so there will be plenty of offensive rebounding opportunities for Noah and Chandler. Because in general, not a whole lot of intensity defensively or checking out, you know, around the basket.
Westbrook gets the friendly roll. So the West back in front. Here's Irving going at Parker. And the rebound is grabbed by Aldridge, who just came on. Parker. Randolph surprised to get that pass and then put it down.
It's a great set of hands, and that's how Zach Randolph really survives. You know, he doesn't jump well, he doesn't run well, but it's uncanny just how good his hands are and his touch around the basket. He's able to score right over the top of people. He gets position.
Here comes Harden with the lob. Westbrook on the receiving end.
Former teammate James Harden. At times, a few years ago, did we see that? Harden to Westbrook.
Once again, Harden handles. And he goes all the way. Noah comes up with it. Gets to his teammate Dang, try to flip it back, deflected, recovered by Irving. On the hop, nice pass. He got Dang with the bounce. The West up by 3. We're final minute, first quarter. Marcus Aldridge of the Blazers. And here is Noah in the open court, finding Dang for 3.
One thing you don't have to say in an all-star game is 2 for 1. It's probably going to end up as like 4 for 3.
So that now has entered the fray.
Second differential between the game clock and shot clock. Nice move by Westbrook as he flies by George.
He plays point guard, but to me, his real skill set is shooting guard.
Yeah.
Hesitation dribble by George with time running out. And
Here comes McCready. Oh, he just sucked the gravity right out of the building. What a play by
62nd All-Star game here in Houston, and the West with a 31-20.
Durant running to the rim.
Second quarter, they hit 14 of 28, 50% shooting. In the first quarter, the East just 11 for 29, 1 of 10 from beyond that three-point line. You can play NBA Challenge presented by State Farm during the course of tonight's game. Predict the action before it happens. You can build a streak, climb your way to the top of the leaderboard, get to a better state by playing along at NBA.com/NBA Challenge. East ball as second quarter gets...
Oh, there are no words for how nasty these two all-stars
by Noah. Rebounded by Randolph. The West with Russell Westbrook at the point. Westbrook and Harden in the backcourt. Aldridge with Durant and Randolph up front. Here is Westbrook. Yes.
LeBron James with no regard.
Durant on the floor once again. Got to the NBA Finals, losing to LeBron James and Dwayne Wade in 5 games.
No one's able to get inside. James Harden is playing through a sprained left ankle, but he told head coach Greg Popovich he wants to play as much as possible. This is George off the steal and hammers it down.
I'm interested to see the Pacers, Reggie, down the stretch. You know, Danny Granger may be back soon. You think about the defensive versatility with Granger.
Has given the Cavaliers their biggest lead tonight.
Of course, their biggest challenge would be going against the Heat. Those two guys, in theory, you know, can match up pretty well as anybody with LeBron and Wade.
Well, they're 2-0 versus the Heat this season, and the reason for that success is because they're big. David West and Roy.
The game.
Knocks down a three. The way to beat the Miami Heat is pound them on the glass, and they've won the rebounding wars with them this season twice.
Holiday misfiring on a three-point attempt. Noah able to come up with it and is rejected by Aldridge.
Oh, turn around looking at the officials looking for a foul. This is not Chicago. This is the NBA All-Star game.
Yes! James Harden with his first field goal. Sixth man of the year last season. The unofficial host of All-Star Weekend. He's been a busy guy.
Yeah, he has. Saw a stat coming into the game the other night as Irving gets right to the rim. Wow, what a move by Kyrie Irving. But James Harden, he has the most fast break points individually of anybody in the league, and he's like 98 points ahead of anyone else. It's just remarkable. It's just not just the style that the Rockets are playing too. That fast break pace, fun to watch.
Irving for Dang. It counts, and the foul. The speed of Kyrie Irving setting it up for Luol Deng.
Steve, you talked about handles. To me, the best handles in the game, I thought were Chris Paul, but Kyrie Irving, especially in the open court, I think he was telling Saker after that Rising Star Challenge game on Friday that he works out with a basketball and a plastic bag or something.
Yeah. Well, then he goes and wins the three-point contest last night when that's not even really his strong suit. To do it all.
Some pretty hot shooting in that three-point contest last
Around
night.
the Griffin screen.
By James Harden. Steve, I think, as a one-time winner of the three-point shootout, you had to be impressed with Irving and Matt Bonner of San Antonio, Steve Novak of the Knicks.
Yeah, I mean, in that contest, George knocks down the jumper. You get 17 points or so. That's a pretty good score. Last night they were routinely guys getting 18, 19, 20 points. It's a good show.
The outlet for George ahead of the field and then chased down by Harden. David Lee, meanwhile, has checked in for the first time as George able to hit that baseline shot. Another strong season for Lee with the Golden State Warriors have been one of the surprises. Durant unable to hit Westbrook. Wanted to cuff it and put it down, but could not find the handle. Nice pass.
Drew Holiday. I mean, that's a surprise sneaky dunk right there.
Didn't know he had that.
Drew with the left. First All-Star game. First round pick of the Sixers back in 2009 after a year at UCLA. Here's Lee with a flip shot.
Well, some of these young point guards in the East, you've got Kyrie Irving, you've got Drew Holiday, Derrick Rose soon to be back, hopefully this season. That Eastern Conference, boy, night in and night out, you're going to have your hands full. Darren Williams, though he's not young. Rondo.
Speaking of Darren Williams, who got an All-Star this season, has been playing hurt. His teammate Brook Lopez of the Brooklyn Nets just checked in.
Yeah, while James Harden in front of the home fans doing his best Manu Ginobili impersonation. I don't know how he gets that footwork to work and get to the rim. Impressive move, and then at the other end, shocking Reggie even, his fellow UCLA grad. You had to know he had that in his game, Reg. Come on.
Star game MVP, and Tracy McGrady, then of the Houston Rockets, his high score with 36 points. West with a 1-point lead, coming up on 7.5 remaining in this first half. Marv Albert, Steve Kerr, Reggie Miller, Craig Sager, and David Aldridge working the sideline. Chris Paul and Blake Griffin back on the floor, and the steal by Wade, who just returned. Carmelo Anthony also back. Here's Irving for 3.
It's interesting listening to Greg Popovich before the game. He said usually you can tell within the first 2 minutes of the game who wants the MVP award the most. I haven't really been able to locate
it's kind of hard.
Yeah.
Ball has moved. No one's really doing too many isolation plays. It's been very competitive.
Although Chris Paul continues to pick up the assist by feeding his teammate Blake Griffin. That's assist number 5 for Paul.
How many times has Clipper fans seen that Chris Paul with that penetrating gets into the lane and looks like Blake Griffin just slips to the basket and throw it near the rim.
Here's Harden on a reverse. Durant is right there, and Kevin Durant leading the way with 12 points. Carmelo Anthony from Drew Holiday. Paul gets it down in a hurry. Harden open for 3. On the hop, it's taken by Lopez. And Irving with the lob. Wade with the bucket. Once again, it's Paul on the setup, this time for David Lee of the Warriors. Crossover by Wade. Durant kind of waved at it.
No help defense,
Well,
Reggie. Where's the rotation?
You were being kind on that, just waved at him. He didn't even make an effort at that one.
I saw the hand moving. Okay. And here's Durant around Wade.
There's a new sheriff in town, and it doesn't go by the name of the Lakers. It's the Clippers, led by CP3, Blake Griffin.
Let's go to Craig with Kevin Garnett.
Well, thanks, Marv. 7 for 15. What do you remember most about your first one?
Craig, what's up? What'd you say?
What do you remember most about your first All-Star game?
My first All-Star game, Gary Payton. Gary Payton made me comfortable and made me nervous all in one. You know, he cracked a lot of jokes. He kept it really light, but at the same time, he gave me confidence when I got out there. Gary Payton was a big part of my my first experience.
How much does it mean to you now after 15?
It means a lot, man. You know, especially when you're voted by the fans. You know, I told Coach I don't want to play that many minutes, and I'm cool out here to watch the young guys. I'm honored.
How are you going to carry the Celtics in the second half after the injuries to Rondo, Sullinger, and Al Barbosa?
We're going to do it together. That's how we've been doing it as of late. We've been doing it together. I feel like, you know, although we're undermanned as far as numbers, when it comes to fight, we're here. So I like our team, man. I like us a lot, actually.
Well, thanks a lot. 15 All-Star games and counting.
Hey, man, stop wearing stuff like this when you do real interviews. You know? Straight up. What's wrong with that? Like a Christmas ornament. You're getting dressed like this, Craig. You're getting dressed like this. You got to stop that, man.
All right, thanks for your tip.
I like Craig with a straight face saying what's wrong with it. Incidentally, Kevin Garnett and Carmelo Anthony spent quite a bit of time this past weekend. You may recall the alleged trash talking by Garnett directed at Carmelo earlier this season that led Carmelo Anthony trying to get at Kevin Garnett after the game at the Celtic bus, but both players say all is well between them. Reggie, did Spike Lee ever try to make his way to the Indiana Pacer bus?
I wish he would have. I wish he would have.
He's not a real person. He is a video game. I've only seen things like
the Celtics, obviously, with the injury.
There's your guy.
Oh, God, don't start. We've let things go. But he talked about the injuries, and we're going to do it together. A lot of reports out there coming from Clipperland, possibly trying to make a trade, and he's like, he has a no-trade provision in his contract that you cut his veins, he bleeds green. Not thinking about any other team but the Boston Celtics.
But what you think if there would be a trade, since he does have a home in the LA area? Oh, Blake Griffin from Kobe Bryant, so a Laker and a Clipper getting together on that bucket. And there's been talk of DeAndre Jordan, Eric Bledsoe being involved. It's all speculation. Just LeBron James able to knock it down from the corner.
Trade deadline Thursday.
I don't think the Celtics should do anything. They've got a magic with their team right now. Even with the injuries, they've found something special. I think you kind of owe it to your fans to really complete the deal here. Let's see how far we can go. Let's let KG and Pierce retire as Celtics. You got a lot of good young talent on that team anyway, and then rebuild when the time comes.
Paul with a beautiful pass.
Oh my goodness. I mean, I know Chris Paul is not even looking to score, but his passes have been on point tonight.
9 assists for Paul, and he like 19 points. He scores when he falls out of bed.
8 of 12 from the field for the 19 for Durant. Wade out of fadeaway. That's a 2, had a foot on the line.
On in the cross.
Shooting second quarter for both teams. Now Paul goes baseline off the head fake. Faked out Bosch.
You got to get a replay of that one.
I believe he did. Look at this.
Yep.
This is what you call dancing right there now. I don't know which one is worse. What Kyrie did to Brandon Knight on Friday night, making him fall, or if you're Chris Bosch going through the legs when Chris Paul is skating on you.
Brook Lopez called for the foul.
There's a name for that in soccer, and it slipped my mind right now that when you dribble through the defender's legs in soccer, there's a term for that. Somebody's going to have to look that one up.
Well, just tweet it out. You're a big Twitter guy.
Is it nutmeg?
Oh, Marv, nice.
And James flips it up.
Marvelous. How did you know that? Come on now, Marv. Come on.
What
Marvelous. Marvelous. Are you kidding me?
Doubt.
Showing us the depth. No wonder you're in the Hall of Fame, my friend.
The alley across to Griffin. No, I must confess, there was
Brown, that basketball will never be the same.
the other way. And it's Wayne Wade. Our producer Scott Cockerell right on it. There was no Googling involved. He was right there. Dwight Howard. And the West is up by 3 as we approach 2 minutes to play in this first half.
Tell you what, I'm loving the action here in this first half. I think
I'm leaving.
I'm leaving. For one another, we're getting some exciting plays.
Well, as long as it is close going to the fourth quarter, a game will break out. A real game.
Yep.
Blake Griffin. 12 points for Griffin. Hitting all 6 of his
The house of highlights.
most of them set up by his Clipper teammate, Chris Paul. And a timeout is taken.
Well, these two guys, the front runners, even though it's early for an MVP trophy. Paul with his 9th assist, Durant with his 18th and 19th points. And this is a common scene here. Blake Griffin with another dunk.
His first NBA All-Star game. Stay in the know on all the second half action with Bleacher Report's Team Stream app. You can download today by searching Team Stream on your phone's App Store. I mentioned a moment ago that both clubs have shot well here in the second quarter. The East 15 for 25 and the West 16 of 23 from the field. LeBron trying to get it down low. Deflected out last touched by the West. 5 on the shot clock for the East. A minute 20
Drop
left.
down, Kobe. Hot high.
West up by 5. Carmelo Anthony for 3 and a foul. So 3 free throws coming up. Foul committed by Griffin. Carmelo an 83% free throw shooting. He's had a career season, although his play has dropped off recently. Had that arm injury bothering him in the loss at Toronto on Wednesday night. And the Knicks has struggled as of late. There have been a number of injuries. Look to be a very fragile club as you look at some of the particularly from some of the
last two performances.
players.
Durant, and a
Yeah, we've
foul!
known that all season. I mean, they've relied on, you know, Rasheed Wallace earlier in the year, Jason Kidd, who had a terrific start to the season. He's maybe tailed off a little bit. I think the All-Star two teams, one the Knicks, two for Golden State. Both teams need to regroup a little bit. And Reggie, you were usually at the All-Star game, but I can tell you it's unbelievable how you can recharge your batteries just having that time off.
Whoa! Griffin not able to control that pass. Here's Bryant. And back comes James. LeBron puts it off the backboard. A pass intended for himself did not work. 2-on-1 the other way. This time it's Paul with the layup.
Well, Chris Bosh was going to make sure he wasn't going to be on anyone's highlight, so he took Blake Griffin out of the play and forced Chris Paul into the lay-in. Is everyone going through the legs of Chris Bosh?
Too.
I mean, enough is enough. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
By LeBron, that basketball will never be the same.
Here, Chris. I mean, they're having fun at your expense. First it was Chris Paul. All right, fool me once. That's shame on you. If you come back and someone else does it, I mean, Tony Parker's just laughing out here.
Is that in the scouting book? As Chris Bosh picked up his second foul off that second through the leg attempt. The West with a 69-61 lead. And a reminder coming up at halftime, entertainment featuring Grammy Award winner Alicia Keys, who happens to be a Texan. Wade with the lay-in, although born in Dallas and raised in Chattanooga and Atlanta. A mini concert is coming up as Wade takes it away. Wade for Chandler! Tyson Chandler of the Knicks. Off the pass that was above the rim.
This is when you see the athleticism at its best. I mean, that's your 7-1 center running the floor and finishing plays.
West will play it out. We're final seconds of the half. Anthony defending against Bryant. Down to one. Kobe fires. So that's the end of the first half. With the West leading the East 69-65. Kevin Durant, the high point man with 19 on 8 of 12.
Drop down, Kobe! Oh!
6 of 7, all of them dunks. Chris Paul, 9 assists. Kobe Bryant has 7 assists. Dwayne Wade with 12 points and 6 assists, 10 apiece for Carmelo Anthony and LeBron James. Let's go to David Aldridge.
CP, why'd you do Bosh like that, man?
What you mean?
Put between the legs on the baseline?
Me and Tony were just talking about it. The way that he's guarding us, that's the only thing that you can do. I mean, he's jamming you up so close, that's the only way you can get by.
First half, 9 assists, a lot of them to your teammate, Blake Griffin. The degree of difficulty what are you seeing out there that allows you to have that kind of...
One of these games is very up-tempo, fast-paced, and like I told KD, you know, if they just run, I have fun, you know, assisting and passing them the ball. So it's a fun game for me.
See you in the second half, sir.
All right, dear.
All right. Mark, back to you. And Mr. James can expect a letter from the firm of Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe. I suggest he reads it.
Yeah. All right, David, we'll take a quick break here, and then the Sprint halftime